Welcome back to Market Talk Tuesday, where we take a look at what's actually happening in the Oviedo Winter Springs real estate market. Because if you only listen to social media, you think every house is either selling in 3 minutes or the market has completely collapsed, and neither one's true. So let's take a look at the numbers. The market's crashing. My neighbor said houses are dropping 100 grand. Offer half price on everything. Oh boy, Chad's been reading Facebook comments again. Actually, it was 2 TikToks, and I'm basically an economist now. Perfect. So go grab a juice box and let the adults talk. Here's where we stand this week. 336 active listings, up 2 from last week. Median list price, $490,000. Average days in the market, 81, just a little bit up from 78. And the median list price per square foot is $248. So now for the activity. 37 houses went pending, up from 33 last week. 31 houses sold, up from 27. Now here's the number everyone's going to notice. The median sold price this week came in at $414,000. The median sold price per square foot was $243. Homes averaged 48 days to go under contract, which is actually a little faster than last week's 51 days. And sellers are still getting about 99% of their asking price, which has been the trend in the last 5 months. If you only looked at that median sold price, you'd probably think, whoa, prices just fell over $40,000 in 1 week. Not so fast. Those houses that closed this week actually went under contract about 48 days ago. So today's closings are really telling us what buyers were doing almost 7 weeks ago. On top of that, median price changes depending on what kind of house is sold. So if a bunch of starter houses close 1 week, the median price is going to drop. If several luxury homes close the next week, the median price goes up. That doesn't mean every house's value magically changed overnight. Meanwhile, listings barely moved. Pending sales went up. Closing sales went up. Houses are actually getting contract a little faster. Those aren't signs of a market falling apart. Those are signs of a market that's behaving, well, normal. There's another piece of the puzzle that people often forget. This time of the year is the busiest time to buy and sell houses. Families want to move before school starts. Teachers want to get settled before August. A lot of people spent the spring getting their houses ready to list, and now they're trying to close before life gets busy again. So we actually expect to see a lot of that activity June, July, and even into the early August. The really interesting part comes later. When we get into the fall and the winter, that's when we can start separating normal seasonal slowdowns from the actual market trends. Every year, activity naturally slows down once that school's back in session and the holidays get closer. That's normal. So instead of asking, is the market slowing? The better question, is it slowing more than it normally does this time of year? That's what we're going to be watching together over the next few months. If pending sales stay healthy and inventory stays under control, then a slower fall is just fall. But if inventory suddenly starts piling up and houses sit longer and buyer activity drops more than we expect, then we're going to know that the market may actually be shifting. And that's why comparing month to month without the consideration of the season can be very misleading. If you're buying, this is actually a pretty comfortable market. If you're selling, pricing is everything. The buyers are still out there. The biggest mistake I see people making is reacting to one number instead of looking at the big picture. Real estate is like watching the first inning of a baseball game and trying to predict the final score. 1 week doesn't tell the whole story. The trends do. And that's exactly why we do Market Talk Tuesday every single week. We're going to keep watching these numbers as we head into the fall and the winter so we can tell the differences between what's normal and what's actually changing. If you're thinking about buying or selling anywhere here in the Oviedo, Winter Springs, or the greater Orlando area, I'd love to help you out. I'm Chris Kapp with Luker & Co. See you next week.